Day everyone, in this video lesson, we will discuss about combined variation. Our objectives are define combined variation, translate into variation statement a relationship involving combined variation between two quantities, and solve problems involving combined variation. So let us recall the first three variation na na-discuss na natin. The direct, inverse, and then the joint variation. So in direct variation, if y varies directly with x or y is directly proportional to x, may be translated mathematically as y is equal to kx. So tingnan mabuti kung paano natin tinatranslate yung iba't ibang variation na na-discuss na natin in our previous video lesson. In inverse variation, if y varies inversely to x, may translate to y is equal to k over x. Kapag joint variation naman, the statement A varies jointly as B and C, it means that A is equal to KBC or K is equal to A over BC, where K is the constant of variation. So tandaan natin itong tatlo na to kasi yung tatlo na to ay gagamitin natin, no, yung concept na to sa panibagong type of variation, and that is the combined variation. So sa combined variation, the statement Z varies directly as X and inversely as Y. It means that Z is equal to KX. So tingnan maigi. Z varies directly as X. So pag binalikan natin yung direct variation, paano natin tina-translate? So that is Z is equal to KX and inversely as Y. So nasa baba yung y natin kasi inversely as y. So, ang kinaibahan ng combined variation, so in combined variation, this is another physical, no? This is another physical relationship among variables. So, this is the kind of variation na kung saan it involves both direct and inverse variation and also the joint variation. So, itong tatlo na to, pinagsama dito sa last type of variation natin, the combined variation. So, dapat ma-recall natin kung paano natin translate yung direct variation, inverse, and joint variation. Using k as the constant of variation, write the equation of variation for each of the following. First, W varies jointly as C and the square of A and inversely as B. So, isa-isahin natin. So, dito muna tayo sa una. So, your W varies jointly as C. So, kapag jointly, ibig sabihin ito involve two or more variables. So, ano ang kasama ni C? So, meron tayong connector dito na and the square of A. So, ibig sabihin this is A squared. And inversely as B. So, W equals K, so yung K natin is the constant of variation, C A squared over B. Again, so pag translate natin ito into equation of variation, this is W equals K C A squared over B. Bakit naging A squared? Because that is square of A. So, tingnan maigi kapag translate natin yung mathematical statement into equation. Okay? So, tingnan kung ano yung mga ginagamit, kung directly ba, inversely, or jointly. Another example, P varies directly as the square of X and inversely as S. So, kapag inverse kasi, ibig sabihin nasa baba, no? Denominator siya. So, P varies directly. So, directly as the square of X. So, hindi kagaya kanina, jointly ang ginamit. So, P equals kx squared kasi square of X. Kx squared over S. So, that is the equation, no, for number 2. Okay, for example, number 3. The electrical resistance R of a wire varies directly as the length L and inversely as the square of its diameter D. So, the electrical resistance R of a wire varies directly. So, varies directly as its length L, and inversely as the square of its diameter D. So, ito ay square of its diameter, so ito ay D squared. So, that is R is equal to KL over D squared. So, for example number 3, the equation of variation is R equals KL over D squared. And for example number 4, the acceleration A of a moving object varies directly as the distance D it travels and inversely as the square of the time t it travels. So again, for example number 4, the acceleration A of a moving object varies directly as the distance d it travels and inversely as the square of the time t it travels. So sa umpisa, that is directly as the distance d. So that is A is equal to KD over T squared kasi squared of the time. Okay? So last, okay, for example number 5, the pressure P of a gas varies directly at its temperature T and inversely at its volume V. So again, number 5, the pressure P of a gas varies directly as its temperature T and inversely at its volume V. So that is P is equal to K T over V. So, ganyan kapag translate natin or translate natin yung given statement into equation using the combined variation. Okay, another example. If z varies directly as x and inversely as y, and z is equal to 9 when x equals 6 and y equals 2, find z when x equals 8 and y equals 12. Again, if z varies directly as x and inversely as y, and z equals 9 when x equals 6 and y equals 2. Find z when x equals 8 and y equals 12. So, paano natin gagawin? First, translate muna natin itong mathematical statement na to into equation. And that is, z is equal to kx since directly over y, and that is inversely as y. And then substitute natin yung mga given natin. So, yung z natin is 9, and then yung x natin is 6, and y is 2. So, to solve for k, so i-multiply lang natin to 9 times 2. So, that is 9 times 2 equals 6k, and 9 times 2, that is 18. 18 equals 6k. So, to solve for k, divide both sides by 6. So, 18 divided 6, k is equal to 3. So, yung constant of variation natin dito is 3. So, ano magiging equation of variation natin? And that is z is equal to 3x. So, papalitan lang natin yung k ng nakuha natin na constant of variation. That is 3. So, z equals 3x over y. So, ito yung equation of variation natin. So, again, pinalitan lang natin yung k natin ng 3. And after that, masusolve na natin yung value ng z. So, what is the value of z kapag ang x daw ay 8 and y is 12? So, ang gagawin lang natin, isa-substitute lang natin dito sa equation of variation natin. So, substitute lang natin yung value ng x, that is 8, and yung value ng y, that is 12. So, 3 times 8, that is 24. Divide 12, z is equal to 2. If x is 8 and y is 12. Okay? So, pag ganitong problem, ang gagawin muna natin, kunin muna natin yung constant and then yung equation. Tapos, kapag may hinahanap, saka natin i-substitute kapag meron na tayong equation of variation. Okay, another example. If R varies directly as S and inversely as the square of u. Okay. And r equals 2 when s equals 18 and u equals 2. Find the following. So, first, solve for r. So, ano maging value ng r when u equals 3 and s equals 27? So, para ma-solve natin yung r na to, kailangan muna natin kunin yung constant and then the equation of variation. So, translate muna natin into equation that is r equals ks over u squared. Okay, kasi square of u, di ba? Okay, r equals ks over u squared and then substitute natin para makuha natin yung constant of variation. So that is 2 equals 18k over 2 squared. And 2 squared is 4, then multiply by 2. So 2 times 4 equals 18k. To solve for k or for the constant of variation, divide both side by 18. And that 2 times 4, that is 8. So para makuha natin yung k natin, divide both side by 18. So 8 over 18. So we can, lowest term by dividing both numerator and denominator by 2. Okay, by 2. Okay, so that is 4 over 9. Okay, so yung constant of variation natin is 4 over 9. Ngayon, balik tayo dito sa tinatanong. Ano daw yung value ng r kapag yung u natin is 3 tapos yung s natin ay 27? So, kunin natin yung equation natin. So, ano magiging equation ng variation dito? That is r is equal to, so pag pinalitan natin to, no, papalitan lang natin to ng 4 over 9. So, this is the equation of variation. Papalitan lang ng 4 over 9 yung k natin. And then, yung s natin is 27, then yung u natin is 3 since may squared tayo kaya 3 squared. And then simplify. So, 27 tayo. So, pwede natin ito i-cancel out. No? 27 divide 9, that is 3 times 4 kaya 12. Over, then 3 squared, that is 9. So, 12 over 9. So, pwede natin i-lowest term by dividing both numerator and denominator sa 3. And that is, r is equal to 4 over 3. Again, ang gagawin muna natin, yung ginawa muna natin, kinuha natin yung constant. And then, gamit yung constant, sinubstitute natin yung u saka s natin para makuha yung r. Okay, gamit yung same problem, what will be the value of s kapag ang u naman natin ay 2 at yung r ay 4? So, since nakuha na natin yung constant of variation, so sa problem na to, so yung constant is 4 over 9, and then the equation of variation is r is equal to k. So, ito papalitan lang natin ng 4 over 9 over u squared. So, ang hinahanap natin dito is yung value ng s. So, to find the value of s, so substitute lang natin yung value ng u and r. So, ang r natin is 4. So, ito yung ano natin, di ba, equation kanina. So, ito yon. Ang r natin is 4 and then yung k natin is 4 over 9. Tapos yung s yung hinahanap. And then, yung r natin is, yung r natin is 4 and then yung u natin is 2, kaya 2 squared. And 2 squared is 4. And then simplify natin, multiply natin to, that is 4 times 4, that is 16, equals 4 over 9s. So, para ma-solve natin yung s natin, so i-divide natin both equation by 4 over 9. So, that is 16 equals 4 over 9s. Again, so, divide natin both equation by 4 over 9. So, 16 divided by 4 over 9. So, kapag dinivide natin yan, the answer is 36. Diba? Kapag dinivide natin to, get the reciprocal of this para din proceed sa multiplication. So, that is 16 times 9 over 4. So, 16 divide 4, that is 4 times 9. That the answer is 36. Okay? Another. So, paano naman kapag ang hinahanap dito is U? And then your R is 1 and S is 36. So, same process. Nakuha na natin yung constant. Ang gagawin nyo lang ay isa-substitute natin dito sa equation natin. So, yung R dot natin is 1. And then yung K natin is 4 over 9. That is the constant of variation. And then yung S natin is 36 over U. So, ito yung hinahanap natin. And that is 1 times U. 1 times U, that is U. And then 4 over 9 times 36. So, ito pwede natin i-divide. 36 divide 9, that is 4. Times 4, the answer is 16. Okay?